Some big news today out of Hornady. Hornady is dropping factory ammo for the brand new 25 Creedmoor. 25 Creedmoor was submitted to SAMI and got standardized just a couple months ago, but nobody was making factory ammo for it. And so it just kind of is that waiting period. And today is the official launch. So I want to talk about the 25 Creedmoor because I think in a lot of ways it absolutely destroys the 6.5 Creedmoor. But at the end of the video, I do want to talk about who this is really for, because I don't think it's for everybody. But for some people, it's going to be a very consequential release. So first, let's set a little bit of background. There's the 6.5 Creedmoor. 6.5 Creedmoor was originally designed as, mostly a target long-range round. And it frankly wasn't very popular in the very beginning. But then it just really caught on, I think, as so many people got into longer range shooting and wanted something very mild-mannered, low on recoil so you can spot your impacts. And you guys know there have been a couple years where, you go look at store shelves and you see nothing but 6.5 Creedmoor on the shelf. That brought the haters out who wanted to see something a little bit different. And the 6.5 Creedmoor started to expand. So we saw the 6 Creedmoor, neck down, 264, neck down to 243, and allowed you to have modern long-range high BC bullets in there, but going faster with lighter weight bullets. And then the 22 Creedmoor caught on, and this one is real fun. This is the flattest shooting cartridge, period, of all the popular cartridges out to very, very far. We've showed that in a couple videos. Love the 22 Creedmoor. And then another one that maybe some of you guys don't realize, the 8.6 Blackout. Now you might say 8.6 Blackout, that has nothing to do with the Creedmoor, right? Except it's exactly the same case, just necked up this time to take a fatter bullet, this time a much higher caliber, 8.6 millimeter. But now the 5th cartridge in the Creedmoor family has just been dropped. So what is it? Well, the 25 Creedmoor takes just 7/1000th of an inch off the diameter of the bullet. It's really a tiny, tiny change to the diameter of the bullet. And I guess we got to address it now. A lot of people are going to see this release, and there's always the comment everywhere, oh my gosh, it's just marketing. It does not matter at all. And I think even Hornady would agree with that. I mean, you listen to their announcement of this, and it's a very measured release. Hey, it's here. It's a new option. It's like you bought a 2024 Ford F-150, and now the 2025 comes out with new headlights, right? We don't have to hate the 2025 F-150 with new headlights. It's just another option. For some people, they're going to care. Other people are going to say, same truck, right? That's kind of what this is. But look at this, because on every number that I care about in terms of the performance of the cartridge, the 25 Creedmoor beats the 6.5. Every number. Look, here it is. So this is shooting a 128 grain bullet at 2,850 feet per second for their precision hunter load. And so the max range before your bullet drops under 2,000 feet per second, further with a 25 Creedmoor, almost 100 yards further. You look at the energy at 100 yards, and it's tied essentially, but slightly more. The 400 yards in a stiff wind, the 25 Creedmoor is not going to be deflected as much by the wind. The drop is going to be 4 inches less at 400 yards. The drop is less at 600 yards, has more energy at 400 yards. The recoil energy is 9/10 of a foot-pound less. Very small, whatever, 8% maybe less recoil energy. But performing better really across the board. The 25 Creedmoor beats the more famous, the ubiquitous 6.5 Creedmoor. And so when you start looking at this, I think it's going to make a lot of people say, what are we getting 6.5 Creedmoors now? I mean, fine if you have one, but if you're buying a new one, I mean, you'd pick the one with the new headlights, right? So there are some companies offering 25 Creedmoor. One is Horizon Firearms. You guys know I love Horizon. They make just an absolutely fantastic gun. Another thing that I like about them is that they'll give you all the cool new cartridges if you want to try stuff, as well as the standbys. So Horizon has 25 Creedmoors, and now you can get that rifle with factory ammo and you are good to go. Well, then the question, if it's so much better, if there are benefits, new headlights, compared to the 6.5 Creedmoor, then this is the ultimate Creedmoor case, right? Well, that's where I think we need to start putting some cold water on this release, because, I mean, let's see what we're really up to. What really does this do for somebody that's looking at a rifle? Well, what I want to do is I want to compare the new 25 Creedmoor to something that's been around for a little bit, and I have no earthly clue why it's not more popular already. And that is the 6 Creedmoor. The 6 Creedmoor is incredible. It's a fantastic cartridge. It's taking that same case of the 6.5 Creedmoor, but necking it down even further than the 25 to a .243 caliber. And when you compare the brand new 25 Creedmoor to a 6 Creedmoor, you say, well, wait a minute. It has very close to the same max range. The energy isn't going to be as much on a 6 Creedmoor. But here's the point I want to make on the energy factor is I just don't think a 25 Creedmoor or a 6.5 Creedmoor is an elk gun. I just really don't. It's fine. Animals will die with it. People do it all the time. But I don't think it's producing enough to do it every single time reliably. I want to shoot more on an elk. And so if it's just deer and down, I think the 6.5 and the 25 Creedmoor and the 6 Creedmoor are all fine. They're all going to kill your deer just fine. And so I don't really care about the energy because I don't need more to kill a deer. But it does so with better drop numbers at 400 yards and 600 yards. And so you could reasonably be interested and say, well, maybe the 6 Creedmoor is really better for the hunter. If you're taking this on a whitetail hunt, an antelope hunt, a mule deer hunt even, you could argue that it's maybe even offering more. Though you do get more energy and you do get better wind deflection out of the new 25 Creedmoor. And then there's also the 22 Creedmoor that's incredibly flat shooting. And so are we really getting anything better with this new release, or is this just marketing? Well, I think for most people, it's not going to really matter which one you pick. I think of these Creedmoor cartridges, I could honestly see a case for a 25 Creedmoor being a pretty sick gun to take out into the hunting woods. But I think the place that it really has the application and why this cartridge was even developed is actually because of the competition shooters. So competition shooters are like maggots. They'll go to one cartridge and it's like everybody shoots that for a few years. They use up all its supplies and then they're like, no, you must shoot this now. You know what I mean? They just move around like that. And so for a while, 6.5 Creedmoor was crushing, right? And then other cartridges started to be more popular, really light shooting cartridges like the 6 Dasher. That we did a fairly recent build of on the channel. I love the 6 Dasher. And everybody's doing that. And then some people say, well, they've kind of stayed on the 6.5 Creedmoor. But so you're between these two, kind of the 6 Dasher 6GT and the 6.5 Creedmoor. And the problem with the 6.5 Creedmoor is that it's heavier recoiling, which I know is kind of silly, but you really want to be able to spot your impact. And the problem with the 6 Dasher is it's kicked around a lot more by the wind. And so if you come in the middle, what do you get? A 25 Creedmoor. And right now in some of the competition circles, a lot of people are kind of migrating toward this. Now granted, it's just new headlights. Your skill is going to matter a lot more than anything else. But it's also in a game where every little edge matters. And so people are interested in that. And I really think that's who this is a consequential release for, is guys that are, you know, shooting PRS, that are in the heavy competition circles that you say, that might be just, you know, the not too hot, not too cold porridge. It might be right there. For the hunter, it's another option. It's another truck out there with more headlights. And for some people, you might want to try it out because it's fun, but it's not exactly going to change the world. One quick point that I should have made when we were originally recording this, I'm comparing this to a lot of the Creedmoor cartridges, but a lot of people are going to look at this release and be like, what about the 257 Weatherby? What about the 25-06 and others, 257 Roberts? And say, well, I mean, this is like the slowest quarter bore cartridge and it's brand new. And so if you want to beat these numbers, I mean, the 25-06 would just destroy this thing. Definitely true. I mean, there's always a hotter cartridge, right? And I just think that wasn't the goal, to create a hotter cartridge. You know, the 6.5 Creedmoor was not the fastest 6.5. That's not what made it popular. It's the mild-manneredness of it. It's the low recoil, etc. But still being incredibly ballistically capable. That's what the whole Creedmoor series is about. And so, yes, if you want to look for something to beat it, it's there. Thanks, everybody, for clicking on a Backfire video. We'll see you in the next one.